Welcome to the Kubernetes Book Club from the CNCF. Today's July 5th, and we're getting here to continue the series, right, on Kubernetes on the edge or containers on the edge or cloud native on the edge. So today, I think we're going to talk a little bit about like how to get machine learning or AI and natural language systems running in the Raspberry Pi. We got Kubernetes running to a certain degree last week, and we got Redis stateful workloads. So work on everyone, uh, and today we continue with the book of Sergio Mendes, which is joining us, thankfully, and giving us an overview of the book, and then also talking about the topic. So um, we did we did some of these aspects, um, but I think today we're going to talk about and then we let's select what thing we want to talk next week from the book, or yeah, from the book. One of the topics, I think we did SQLs databases last week, and we can pick another one for next week. But today I think we're going for maybe this one that I added at the end. We'll do this one, LLMs on the edge.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So who has a Raspberry Pi? I was able to get upgraded from the 4th to the 5th to see how these models work. Nipran, you have a Raspberry Pi?
No, I don't have it now.
Okay, no problem. I ordered a Jetson or Ring NX 16 gigs. So hopefully
Mhm.
I'll get it next week. I don't know if I get going to get it on time. But we'll see. But that one has NVIDIA um, and has NVIDIA, and you can do CUDA, right?
Mhm.
So any CUDA from the CUDA toolkit, you'll be using that on NVIDIA. But today we'll look at Raspberry Pi. Um, so yeah, I can go over a few projects I was looking at um, in here. I was looking at so just to share some news. Let's go back to the things. Let me see news. So if you're watching, we're meeting an hour earlier, 12 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. UK CET time, 9:30 p.m. India. So that's why the India folks from India a little bit earlier. To than 10:30 that we were doing it. And then the Thursday meetups stop, and then those folks are joining us on Fridays, like Jack and others, and Nipandra also joining us. And then just a reminder, if you are submitting CFPs for KubeCon, July 14 is the deadline for CFP KubeCon NA 2024. Things like ArgoCon, Platform Engineering Con, and like there's like a couple of I can show the website KubeCon NA. I'm planning to attend because I'm going to be helping with the AWS booth. And hopefully maybe I get a talk accepted. I submitted a few, but yeah, the co-located events. It's the first day, and there's a few, and all this. The good thing is all these talks are recorded and put in YouTube. And I think they not think I they create a playlist for the specific KubeCon co-located events, and then they're all there, so it's easy to find. So I was a share last year of ArgoCon, um, and there's Platform Engineering Day, which I submitted some talks. I didn't submit anything for AI Day, but that seems very interesting. So EnvoyCon is very popular, Cilium very popular, and eBPF, Backstage also, and at DeveloperCon, I think maybe this is the second time or third time they're doing it. It's the folks from like Knative and Dapper doing that, and Istio service mesh. So that's for news. Any questions so far? Comments?
Yeah, one comment is so the working group on the AI team is working on the an app using which we can summarize all the CNCF videos playlist. So
Oh,
basically,
really?
yeah. So there is some work going on there. So it's still in progress, but pretty soon it will be done. So there was going to be a website where you can go pick up the conference, pick up the video. It will give you a summary of that particular video.
Oh, that would be great. I remember I posted some I think it was maybe 2 years ago. I posted some messages both in social media and CNCF Slack of like what I want to have is like a website to like find the content, not just
Mhm.
like the summarization is good because it takes like the output, but I would like to just like
Yep.
search for something and then give me back a result of the videos, because searching in YouTube, it doesn't go for the slides, right? So if we can now, it's, I guess it's like with so many frameworks and libraries, should be easy to, like you said, get a transcript, get a summary, and also hopefully like parse the images, right? You should be able to get the video stream and then the frames, and then the PowerPoint, the slides that the folks are using in their slides. You can grab that as information, right? So when you
Right.
search, you're searching like inside the text inside the video. Because that's usually the key thing, right? If you're looking for something around Istio or something keywords, you will
Mhm.
find like the talks that have that in the title, or in the title, or specific things. Yeah, so for example, you want to know like, give me all the slides that talk about Istio, right? Or the talks or the YouTube videos that talk about from the last KubeCon on Istio, then you get a nice list. That's actually what I wanted for Argo, but the example is Istio. So that's good. Who's working on that? You said the tag, the AI tag,
No, it's a working group for the AI.
a working group for AI. So yeah, that's an amazing app, right? If they can get a website like
Yep.
that, I'll reach out to see. Do you have a link or something that?
I shared the link on the chat right away.
Oh,
I
great,
shared. So it's a GitHub issue, and then I'll share the document also, which is design document which we discussed some time back. So I could not join the thing, but it's there. So things are happening there. Let me
great.
just try to pull it up. Yeah.
Yeah, if people are watching or you're here and you want to news summary, but is it
Hello.
related to the videos or not, or
Yeah,
just
yeah, it is. It is. So this is the
okay?
design document. This is the entire document which you can take a look.
Ah, here's something.
Which talks about how it is going to be. So it's like there is a GitHub Actions, Google APIs, and other things. So it would work out.
GitHub Actions, Google Client API, list of CNCF videos, download the video scripts, the
Yep.
video transcripts, LLM and LangChain, summarize transcripts, categorize, summarize, build dashboard, publish GitHub pages. Yeah, this is amazing. If people want to collaborate, like they're like
Yeah,
meeting
they
and
are open. They
discussing.
are open. Yes. So they are meeting on every other Thursday. Basically, yesterday they would have met, but yesterday maybe it would have been off. But yeah, they are meeting every other Thursday at whatever 1 p.m. EU time, 1 p.m. your time.
That should be, I think, here, right? Meeting notes and agenda. Should have information there.
Yeah.
And this is the meeting, or they have another one.
No, so there are two meetings. One is so this is the meeting I believe for this particular part, community meet. This is the one I believe, yeah.
So I think I think the easiest way, if you want to like get involved,
Yeah, get
go
in
to
the
Slack
Slack
and then
channel. Yes,
ask what is the
yes,
latest info, or just seeing there like what
yeah.
people are
So
talking
there is
about,
a
and then join.
correct. So there is a leaderboard, I mean GitHub project page is there, which basically talks about all the stuff. So if you just want to take a look what's happening in that group, you can take a look at this particular link I'm putting up on the chat now. This tells you what are the things lined up. There's also work on it, like I think um, playground, cloud data playground for AI workloads. This work is also something starting up there. And if you've not heard about, there's a project called OPIA. If you have heard about OPIA, perfect. But OPIA is another project which is coming under, I think, I don't know, I think it's an LF project. But the idea is that as there are going to be so many ways to deploy workloads on AI, how would you know which is the right way of doing things, right? So OPI is trying to come up with that framework, which tells you what are the best possible projects available in the ecosystem and how you can deploy it.
Opia, do you have a link to Opia?
I shared on the chat.
Oh, Opia.dev. Interesting. Okay, thank you for sharing. I'll put that in here. So it's this one. Wait, that's not the
They
one.
also have, I think, conference coming up, at least some meeting there have lined up, I think, pretty soon in somewhere in US for sure.
So Opia means Open Platform for Enterprise AI.
Yeah. So idea is simple that okay, there are multiple ways of doing things, but what is the difference architecture you can follow, right? So let's say if I want to build the RAG thing on the thing on open source tech, right? So Kubernetes, Milvus, all of these things you will pick up and then build the RAG stuff and other stuff. So idea is to kind of give you the different architecture of different things. So there is one at least defined way of this is the right way of doing things, kind of a thing. Yeah.
Interesting, interesting. Yeah,
So
this is interesting. Let
they
me
already
put
have
that
put
in
down some
there.
examples there. So in there's already code is there. So in the code you can find out okay how they're implementing certain things, which is basically like if you have to deploy something on customer side, what is the difference? That's the difference what they're putting up there.
Okay, that's very good. Very good. Um, I moved down. Let me. People can see my screen good,
That's kind of
or
yeah,
should
like
I?
yeah, I should make a single screen actually, because if you put two screens at the same time, right, it's kind of not looking good. So if you just have like, so currently I see your ID also and that Google Doc as well, right, together.
Yeah, yeah.
So you
So
can just, yeah,
I can
either
do
that or this,
this.
yeah, or the other one. Yeah.
Yeah. Um. So yeah, the thing is, because I was going to show some pages. So, I was able to get. This is a repo I was working on. The basic setup that I did from like all notes that I have. I kind of put in like enough information for people to know like what what steps to do, and then if they need more information, right, search online or like the specifics. But first step is to image the OS. We are using Ubuntu server. Also, the book suggests to use Ubuntu server. That way, everything works kind of the same way. The same commands. If you do apt get, it works. One thing that I do here at home, I have a DHCP, so I connect through the Wi-Fi, or now I connected to Ethernet because it was very slow. The Wi-Fi on the Raspberry Pi. Um, um, it's do a reservation in your router, right? So it gets the same IP address. That's the easiest way to do it. I mean, at home. Um, and then I did the cloud init configuration when I did the OS images. So it will configure to Wi-Fi. It will connect. It connect it directly. But if you have Ethernet, that also works. Set up the password and then set up the SSH key so you can like SSH into the machine, and then Ubuntu is the default user that it creates. Um, I like in my computer to do a SSH config, so you can have like Pi 5. So the only thing that you have to do is SSH. Actually, right? You have to SSH Pi 5, and then you are logging in with on the IP address that you have, and then Ubuntu is the user. Um, and then if you are planning to I usually use GitHub. I cannot use GitHub HTTP authentication. I need to use SSH. So I give some instructions here on how to like configure your SSH client and then copy the public key into GitHub. So that way you can clone. Host name was kind of like tricky for me. Raspberry. I don't know. This is maybe a Ubuntu thing. I don't use Ubuntu that much, but because I use Cloud in it. Um, the host name I was running this command host name ctl set host name. When I rebooted, it didn't preserve. So it was because I think it was configured to cloud.net. So I had to put preserve host name, which sounds like opposite of what you want, but it's like maybe telling that cloud.net do not preserve it, and put that here, and then I was able to set the host name, and that worked. And I put the things that we talked last time to enable C groups in the kernel. I like to use the GitHub CLI, so I put information here how to set up the GitHub CLI and also your Git if you're going to code something. One thing that I like to do with the Raspberry Pi, I don't know if people want to share. Maybe uh, set here to not disturb. Um, is use VS Code. Um, so but I guess you can use the other ones, but I like to use VS Code, and I was thinking of installing how to install VS Code server, so you can run like the VS Code from the browser, like the IP address of the Raspberry Pi. And then I was like thinking about doing it like that way, and usually I like to use the native VS Code in my computer and then connect remotely to something, like DevPod. So what I did was I didn't install anything. So as long as you have SSH configured correctly, you can go on here on the left side. I don't know if you see this. You see my mouse. Let's see if I can
Mhm.
do it here. I have a little tool here. Let's see if this works. Yeah. So this, if you click here, you'll be able to see like SSH, like I guess it's using your SSH config that you configure here. If you use that and then you click this button, and then this will connect to your um, it will SSH into your Raspberry Pi, and then VS Code in here would install VS Code server in your Raspberry Pi, and then you'll be able to open a GitHub repo or something like that. I opened the GitHub repo that I'm working on, and then this Explorer, as you can see here, is not in my computer. It's on SSH over there, and you can see at the bottom is SSH here. Actually, this is a theme that is getting set like weird in my thing. So this is the normal one. So yeah, if you see at the bottom here, it says SSH by 5. I'm using VS Code, but the files, everything about the files is on the remote server, like Linux server, right? Raspberry Pi. Um, and then when you open a new terminal down here, um, basically I'm um, inside my Raspberry Pi. So if I do host name, is not my Mac, is right? It's the Pi 5. I'm inside the Raspberry Pi in that folder because I created, and then this is kind of like the workflow that I like to use. So if I need to come back, boot the Raspberry Pi somewhere else in my house, right? So if I have sensors or something or camera, and I want to like work with files or configure something, um, you can do it like this with VS Code and just connect. So it automatically is running VS Code in there. If I do htop here, you can see that VS Code is kind of running CLI server, so it's running there. I'm going to show that there. Um,
Can you increase the font size, Carlos, if possible?
yeah,
A
how
little
about
better.
that?
Is better.
Is that better?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then the next thing I did, I was showing here the this is the Raspberry Pi. I don't know if I should touch it or not, but I bought the adapter. This is an adapter. It's called for PCIe. So Raspberry Pi has a PCIe, And with the PCIe, you can drive, I think, two devices, and they're called M.2 devices. So and then you have to watch out, like if it's M.2 23XX or 24, or depending, that's be the size. But you connected it to with a ribbon, and that's the ribbon. You cannot see it because it's like inside. um if you can move it, yeah, the ribbon is there to that adapter, and then you put the SSD. But I order a second one that you can run. I can run two things, so I can put like a drive and then the AI device from Halo that they're selling. We discussed that last time, like this one, I think it was from Halo. They have some devices that then you can put an AI chip, the Raspberry Pi. Um, and then this one, this kit that I bought came with a active cooler, um, and um, yeah. So the active cooler is below that adapter. So I have the Raspberry Pi, the active cooler, and then on top, this thing that now have like 256 gig of space. Which if I was going to download was going to test a lot of models are kind of big, or the things or containers, right? Um, to save them there. So that's the hardware setup. Um,
How much RAM does it have?
how much what?
RAM, memory.
Oh, so the Raspberry 5 can go up to 8 gigs. So this one has 8 gigs. The Raspberry Pi 4 also supported 8 gigs of memory, right,
Mhm.
Sergio? I
Yeah,
think,
I think that is better, the one with 8 gigs.
yeah. And then it's I think both are 4 cores. But the thing is, the 4 and the 5, I think the processors are better. 5, I think, has a PCIe. So it's like the hardware revision kind of thing. Um, it's more, it's better hardware. But in terms of sockets, it's the same. IO pins are the same. Um, Gigs, they have not make any bigger than 8 gigs. So I don't know if they will come out with a new Raspberry Pi that has more memory. But that's why I ordered the Jetson mini PC with the NX, because it has 16 gigs of memory. So, and it's NVIDIA, because I a lot of examples that I do, that I work on. For example, at work with EKS, they use NVIDIA GPUs. So just wanted to play with that for learning purposes. I'm not going to run like this is a business with a with a Jetson or a Raspberry Pi. Um, so yeah, I was not sure how this is the first time that I use an SSD, NVMe SSD on a Raspberry Pi, and with the help of Amazon Q, I guess, I'm going to say that, like, after VS Code, I install some extensions. I installed Python. I think it was Jupyter, Python remote. This one's come it with it. And I install Q. I don't know why it's saying that I need it, because it's I already have it installed. I thought I had it installed. Yeah, the thing is, like, I think the VS Code got messed up because I was using Ollama and I was taking like all resources. I'll show it in a second. But yeah, you can install um Q, and I was using Q to ask questions, like how to install the SSD. So in the SSD, if you do ls block, you will see the device here, and I just put like instructions for myself, like you have to change it if you have different values. But it took to create a file system on that device. This is like Linux type things, but I couldn't remember the exact steps. And then create a directory where you're going to mount, and then edit fstab to put like, I want this device mounted here. how you want to mount it, the settings to mount it, and the file system type, and then with systemctl reload and the mount. Now I was able to like see the storage, so I have like 222 gigs of space in that NVMe. Very a lot of disk space in that little device. And that those SSDs don't cost that much. They're super cheap now compared to, I don't know, 6 years ago. Um, so that was the basic for um, the setting up this Raspberry Pi 5. Let me show you um, an example. So I started looking at how to run AI on the Raspberry Pi, and one of the projects was llama.cpp. I was able to compile it, and yeah, with make, and then I put the instructions here. Um, but we'll revisit that one because maybe we'll do that one on the last, because I was able to compile it, but didn't run anything yet. But yeah, I needed to install these things in the Raspberry Pi. They were like the minimum dependencies: make, cmake, build essentials, ccache. And then with that, I was able to do a git clone, cd, and then make, and that worked. Then I started like looking at maybe using it from Python bindings, and then this one didn't work to compile for some reason, because I don't know what are the flags that we're using, but it says that it has a pre-built wheel. So it has a website with already has the thing. I'm not a fan of like running pre-compiled code. That's just me. But this is like pre-compiled code. And then there's another binding on top of this Llama CPP Python called Easy Llama that you can install, and it has some like things to like play more easier with the models. But yeah, Llama CPP is one that you can run. Local AI, that's something that we can investigate also. This one comes with the Docker container. But the one that I was able to get running was Ollama.md. So for Ollama, actually, I have a file here for the Python resources. This is what I was saying earlier about how to set up a virtual environment, specific version of Python. Some projects don't work with Python 3.12. I know for a fact I've been using Ollama in my computer, and you have to use 3.11 for some examples. If you use things like Chroma and RAG. But going back to Ollama, this is like the easiest one to run like one of these models. Anyone has experience with Ollama?
So Ollama is basically is not a model; it's a way to execute. I believe it's like a setup. So with Ollama, you would execute other LLMs. So it's kind of an environment or a setup which would help you run different models which are open sourced, or maybe others as well. And of course, you can try from Hugging Faces also.
Yep.
So
But
yeah,
have you tried?
yeah, we tried deploying on Kubernetes with Knative. I had tried.
Okay,
So
cool. Oh,
so
we
you
can do
can.
that here today. So yeah, Ollama it comes in different ways. Like you can run it like in your, I have it run it here, but in the Raspberry Pi, basically you want to install it, you go to the Linux, and then you run this command, and that will give you a CLI. So that's what I did here. And then it's like a neat print. I said, like it's a kind of like a, I don't know, brew. It's like a framework, right, to be able to download different models and be able to run them, right, or serve them, do inference. And
Right.
then people build things on top of it, like a UI, a Python program library, because it offers a serve HTTP, and then with that, basically you can do everything, and then also comes as a Docker container. So, but here they have all the models here. that I'm guessing that people are like registered them or something. I don't know how they get registered, but there's a few. So if you just install it, let me show it here how it works. Um, Maybe you do Llama. You remove that. You see my screen, okay?
Yep.
Let me hide this. Um, you do Llama list. It will be empty when you start, and then you can do Llama run, and then you specify one of the models that they have in their registry or they know about, then you download them, and then it has a concept like of versioning. You can put a versioning. It looks very similar as Docker images, right?
Yep. Right.
They get inspired by that, like
Yes. Yes.
Docker run, and then the images here, the ID, right? That's a hash, the size, and then when it was modified. So one of the things, one of the models I was looking online, like because they need to be small, and we'll see. We'll run two and compare one versus the other one. It's called Tiny Llama, and if we look in the um, make this bigger, I guess. You see my screen, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Tiny Llama. This one is very compact. One that is 1.1 billion parameters. And this is the information if you want. And this is kind of like a similar concept of like Docker, right? Copy paste this thing, and then basically you install a CLI, like you install Docker, and then you run Docker run. So in here you run Oyama run. Um, and then there's more information here. But this one is the one that it was kind of like the smaller, one of the smallest ones. So if we go back here and we run Tiny Llama, and this is running the Raspberry Pi, if I can spell correctly. And if you Llama is not there, it's because you have to like open a new terminal or like refresh your batch RC. So it took no time because I already downloaded the Tiny Llama, which is 636 megs. Um, I had to put an Ethernet because I don't know, for some reason the Wi-Fi on the Raspberry Pi was super slow to download these things. But you can see um, this one, the Llama 2 on sensor is 3.28 gigs. So this one took like 5 minutes. This one took like 10 minutes over the Wi-Fi, and then I installed the Ethernet, and then this one took like nothing to download. But this Oyama has different commands. So the first one is run, and then you can do slash question mark to see what are the things that you can put in this prompt, like show the model information, and then buy or clear the session. So we can say show slash show info. Oh, it can give you the model files, parameter system, the prompt templates, and the license. So here's the info uh, around this model. So you can even see the quantization. Nick Pranra, can you say a little bit about what's quantization?
Yeah. So
You know what that?
quantization is, yeah. Yeah. So it is. So what happens? I mean, I just tell you what I understand, right? Again, please do your research, or I'll kind of look at later time as well and come back with it. So what happens is, when we are going to train these models, for the training purpose of these models, we are going to have different weights given to each of the parameter what we are training on. Now, as you store these parameters, they may generally get stored in the float thing. But then what happens is with some of the tooling, we can reduce down the size of that uh, property or the parameter what we have, and have it in the lesser size, smaller size. So that is what the quantization mean, that um, what is your size, or how you're storing your features of the different parameters what you have, right? So the smaller that is, the smaller the size is, right? So basically, there are some algorithms which has been built using which, either even if we have like a 16-bit, we can bring it down to a smaller size there without losing the property of the model. So that is what is there. So the smaller it is, the better. Basically, the 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 smaller the quantization size, the lesser the model size is going to be as well.
Yeah, and you can basically that there's you can convert it like lose fidelity, right? So how many I was looking for one of these project had a nice table that has like Q5, Q4,
Mhm.
like the floating point precision that you're saving that information, right?
Correct.
And the thing is, since we have a Raspberry Pi, it doesn't have a lot of power, right? So if we don't like make it smaller, the quantization, it will take a lot of time to process those big float precision numbers, right? And that's why it would take a long time. So that's why you can use it. You can when people tell you that you're running a certain model, well, you can be running like the one that is training basis, right? It was trained with less information, like 7 billion or 13 billion parameters. That's the parameters, but also the fidelity of like the storage of the weight, right? The floating point. Um, so I know. Anyway, that's for just a little bit of education. Let's run something here, and then this is something that's happening. I think because um, when I run Llama, it's taking, I don't know, resources that VS Code server stops working. So let me switch into the terminal here. The terminal has I was playing with the terminal. Let's see if this is, you can see it better. Let me see by, and then the other one, I don't know if I can kill the other one. For some reason is VS Code is not behaving. So I'm just leaving this here because when I run it, you will see. So Oyama is not running anymore. Um, I don't think it's running. So let's run it here, and then I can close this one. I was playing with the image. It was a second demo I had. You see the screen correctly, or should I make it bigger?
Bigger is better. Yeah, it's okay. That's fine. Right.
Um, so Oyama list, right? Oyama run. Let me see if Oyama is running, right? PSEF. There's no Yama here. So Oyama is not running, but I feel like it's
I think
something.
there's a spelling mistake was there. That's why may not be running, but there's a spelling mistake was there.
Okay. Journal. I'm just looking at why is it feel like it's slow. But anyway, let's run it. Run tiny Yama, and let's give it something. What should we ask this Yama? A joke?
Yeah, please go ahead.
Tell me a joke. Um, so now the model is being, you're doing inference with this prompt. And the thing is that you can see when you saw like slash show, you can show template. Those actually you can see the format of the prompt that is being sent to the model, right? Um, Different model needs different type of prompt or parsing it. Um, so let's see if it comes back.
It may take some time. Don't worry.
But yeah, I was running the other one. Yeah, Lava. I don't know, Alava, and all my four CPUs went to 100%
Mhm.
for a while. But it was able to do it. So Tiny Llama didn't wasn't taking that much before. If not, I'll reboot the Raspberry Pi and then try again. This should not take this long. Let me. Yeah, I don't know what's happening. So it did it. So let's try again. Bye. Tell me a joke. I think it went with a few. Okay, so that now it's faster. I don't know why. Um, so it says, sure, here's a classic joke for you. And what's happening is also, it looks like it's running in a way that it's like streaming, right? Streaming the tokens back.
Yep.
But in here, it did something. It says, a man sitting in a restaurant having lunch with his family. The waiter brings a plate with a large pile of food on it. Waiter says, excuse me, sir, but may I ask what you got here? This is a very long joke. Maybe we should
Yep.
add for a short
It's too much.
joke. Um, maybe that's why. Um, let's see. Maybe yeah, I tried with another. I think it was Dolphin Fee, and then it gave me like a one sentence joke. And I think we saw also like the tokens, like the context token that it supports. This one supports 2048. So this is one of the reasons, right? People are using inference in like um, hardware, right? Server hardware, like instances in a cloud provider or physical servers, because it requires uh, compute, but compute in terms of GPUs. So if you have GPUs, it will run faster. So that's the experiment. That's why I want to get a GPU with the Jetson. So compare doing things only in CPU, and then things in. So the CPU is not doing anything. This is why I'm worried like this stuff is not working.
No,
Um,
CPU would be doing so. It was not busy. You're saying, is it? Okay.
yeah, some reason when I do Control D, then it comes back. What do you call an AI assistant? An AIer. Ha ha ha. Now that's a good one. Enjoy the laugh. Let me try a different one. I've not. Why the sky is blue? Okay, that was faster. So maybe the joke thing is like there are
No,
many
no,
reasons
it
why the
stopped.
sky is blue. It is color azure. Interesting. See, it gets stuck. Is it the terminal?
No, no, no. It's not terminal. It's just kind of trying to make some sense, trying to predict the next word. So it would have these words available, but next words are not available with him. So it's trying to just get the next word. So yeah, but do a control C, will it work? Will it finish?
I
I
don't
don't
know.
know.
I don't know why I need to do Control C.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
like
think
Control C would like
it's
give
gonna
them a finish, right?
flush out. Yeah, maybe that's something like that. It doesn't know how to stop, or it is stopped. It's kind of in the cache. Something is there with the but terminal,
Yeah.
I believe.
So it's responding fast. Yeah. Um, what I was I don't have the history here. Um, let me try another one. So I was going to let me do a reboot. I don't trust this. And then we'll come back to that. Um, the good thing is the top window died. Let me do a horizontal here. Kill this one, and it just take a few. It takes less than a minute to. That's a thing that I like about the Raspberry Pi. It should come back. I don't know if you heard that, but that was the fan. Um, yeah, when
No,
something doesn't run, I just reboot
mm,
and then come
yeah,
back,
yeah.
and that way, now I know that the VS Code client thing is not running or messing around, or I don't have another command. So we give it a minute. Because I wanted to show like you can run Llama with Dash verbose. Um, oh, I think we took. Did we speaking about AI for a long time? Um, Yeah, I want to show the verbose. Let me see if it comes back. Okay, I mean, htop here, and then one thing SSH by 5, and then let me see if this time I'll use a different one. So use Dolphin. Which one
Run,
else did I
run.
have?
You have to say run. Yeah.
Run Dolphin dash fee, and then verbose, and that way we can see how many tokens per second, right? And then you can compare how fast it's working. I made Dolphin Pi.
That's correct, right? Yeah.
Who's correct? Why is not?
Let me
Does
see.
not exist. Let me see. Ollama run.
Okay.
Okay.
What to say? Have a
Yeah.
look.
I don't know what I need to specify. So verbose at the end will give us the the information about how the model perform and everything. There you go. See the CPUs went up.
Yeah.
So I don't know if this one does code. Can we say like give me a regular expression to parse file names that have a number between 100 and 400. So I think it pick up the type I to parse. So parse. Yeah. To parse the file names with a range of number hundreds in the regular expression, you can use the following pattern. So you can see at the top, right, the CPUs are 100%, the four of them.
Yep.
Not using that much memory, but the CPUs are like, so it choose, I didn't give them the language, right? So I did Python. So it's doing a function here. And then it says 100 and 400 with 3 and 4 digits, return F or F line. So it's actually giving the code like to parse the files, right? With the part file list and everything, and then explanation. And then this is all running locally, right? It's not going connected to the internet. It's not doing an API call or anything. And you can run all llama serve, and then becomes a web server that you can scroll. So as you can see here, it did 6 tokens per second. I think the tiny llama does 12 tokens per second, a little bit better than that. Let me show you a different one. So you can also search in the Ollama for models that support vision, Falcon. Yeah, so I was looking at this one, Llava one, and then you can pass an image. So what I did was I downloaded an image of a Raspberry Pi. I
Mm-hmm.
don't know which one it was. I think it was history grep JPG. Um, this one, no, it was. I think it was this one. This Raspberry Pi, and then I want the model to see what can tell me about this picture, right? And then I named the file just image dot png. So I don't want to put the hint in the file name, right? So basically, you can do Ola, and I have the file in my home directory, image.jpg. So you can do Ollama run. Let's run the Llava one. Llava, and then this one took a while. This one took like 5 minutes. But after that, I show the Docker command. Like you can run this on Kubernetes, right? I'm running it from the command line, but You can run Ollama with a Docker image. You can put the model inside a Docker image, and then the image already has the model, so it will not download anything. So we can be offline. Um,
Right.
so I don't know
They
why
will
this
also
seem.
copy the all the models in a shared directory, and then they would kind of mount the given module, given volume, and then from there they'll carry.
Yeah, so they have yeah, so this one, so you can see here, you can do they use something called model file to create a model. So right, you can see it looks like a Docker file, right? From
Hmm.
Llama
Yeah.
3,
Yep.
then you put a system context, right? And then also like parameters like the temperature or the TP, right? And then you do a create, and then you run it. But you can create a Docker. Where's the Docker thing? There's a Docker file. So you can do the old Docker image here. But I like you said, you can put the models in a folder, right? Um, and then mount that folder in a like from a PVC, right? I have it there. I guess if you run this one, doesn't have any models inside.
No.
But I think you can burn them in here, right? So you can also expose the device, right, that you want, the GPU device that you want to do if you want to do Docker. But in Kubernetes, there's already daemon sets that do all this, like expose the device and share the GPU and all that. Let me see if this one loaded or not. Oh yeah, it loaded. So you can say like, what can you tell me about the image located, and this is natural language, so it would know that what to parse. So you can do home Ubuntu image.jpg, and actually like it knew there was a path in there in the sentence, right? It could be a paragraph. I'm guessing you can put a paragraph with 2 or 3 images, right? And tell it like, tell me the similarities of these two or the differences. So yeah, it's reading the file system, is taking that, and then I'm guessing that what it's doing is, right, base 64 the image, and then sending the image to the inference as a prompt to the model, and then the model just takes base 64, right? It just encoded image, and then do vision recognition to give you back what is that in that image. Last time around it took some time, but yeah, Oyama is one. The other one I was looking was local AI. I don't know if it's uh yeah, Llama CPP was the other one that I was able to compile.
Hmm.
So that one, uh I had errors compiling it, but it finally compiled. Where is that one? And then there's a lot of like bindings, like for Oyama, for local AI, for this one. Um, so the other thing I was looking at, Nimprandra, was just using just regular Python with transformers and TensorFlow, right?
Yep.
And PyTorch, because you don't need these high level things, right? You can just use PyTorch and then do a tokenizer, right?
So depending on what we're trying to achieve there, right? See, all of these big models are going to require a lot of resources for sure.
Yeah.
And of course, if we build a smaller model, we can use. I mean, you can build as big model as you would wish with a given input of data. So if we have a smaller model, which is like, let's say, 200 MB kind of a thing, right? Then it would come into the memory easily. But of course, as you try to infer things, it would be sequential. So the main difference what GPU and what CPU would bring in is doing the parallel operations. So because CPU is always doing one by one, that's why it is
Yep.
slow.
Instruction set,
And
right?
yeah, so that is one. But of course, at the same time, in GPUs, you're going to have multiple compute units,
Okay.
uh,
That's
right?
true.
So it's like that a GPU contains multiple CPU inside in a way, and then you can send the context. So the way it happens, let's say if I tell you two sentences which I am using, like in cloud, we store data in the S3 buckets, right? Then I can say second word can be, or maybe simple example, the bank one, right? Like you have a river bank and you have the financial bank. So you can use the bank term in different sentences, right? Different set of words together, right? So now to understand the meaning of the entire sentence, you want to process the entire sentence at once, and that is what the multiple GPUs can help us with the help of transform architecture. But if you do in CPU, it's going to go one by one, going to take time. So that is where things would differ if you use GPUs and CPUs. And what you said about if I just want to run a simple machine learning model which has limited set of data, it will be very fast on the thing on the Raspberry Pi. For example, let's say if you know that I'm just going to use 100 images in my environment, right, to do the identification. So in that case, you can have a smaller model which can just identify those 100 images. Remaining, it can just say, okay, I don't know, kind of a thing, right? So I can build that kind of model and then run it very fast on my given Raspberry Pi, right? But of course, you need to have a custom model for that, which just says, okay, I'm just going to train you for 100 images and then reply me back with that only, kind of a thing.
Yeah, here it is. It came
Yeah,
back
coming
finally.
up.
How long it took?
Yeah,
Like 2 minutes. So it
yeah,
was.
it
Yeah,
took,
it's impressive, right? Was able
yes.
to recognize that it was a Raspberry Pi 4 Model B. Several peripherals actually attached to it. Here's what I can see. Um, so let's see the picture again. Oh, was
Would
a
it give a,
picture.
yeah, okay, yeah.
I think it was this picture.
Hmm.
This is a Raspberry Pi 4. Yeah, the witness, right? It says
Hmm.
Raspberry Pi 4 model there. Uh so I don't know if it cheated or not, right? Reading the text.
It could have read the, it could have, I mean, read the text also in between. It can do, right, as it's kind of going to go pixel by pixel and understand there's a
Yeah,
character I can read through and all that stuff. Nice, but of course, all of these things are really useful. I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
there's two visible camera modules for video input, DVI connector and cable. I don't think this image has that much in there. I think it's actually uh,
It's kind of fooling us,
associating, right? A little bit.
kind of fooling us as well a bit. Yeah,
Yeah,
it can. So whatever information it may be having for us, Raspberry Pi, just kind of dumping it as well.
yeah. So yeah, as you can see, like it's still creating tokens, right? 9900. I didn't run it with dash verbose, but you can run it verbose to see how many you get back. Um, Let me close this one. It'll take 1 minute for the other one. So the other one I have is I have Llama CPP. I was able to do a make. I don't know if there's a Llama CLI. So yeah, it's here. So if I run this, it's supposedly saying in this folder there's a few models already. I think this is the ones that I can. It has the GGUF type of
Hmm.
model. You can download more. But as you can see here, it says it's saying to use the Llama. It's doing a make. I already did a make. I don't have to do a make again, right?
I
Um,
don't think
so
so.
I need to run. I already did the make, and I see the Llama CLI is there, so I just can run the model. Assuming this one is here, GGML.
There is a
I don't.
server also. Do it to start server first. There's a Llama server as well. Did you
Oh, there's a
start that?
Llama server that I can do a curl, right?
Maybe, I don't
Uh,
know. First of all,
on
let
it.
me stop the Ollama because it'll take memory for you. You can first
Yeah,
stop the.
the Ollama is I already started the Ollama,
Okay.
but this one would not work because I don't have this one in here. This is like I need to download the Llama things, and I this is Raspberry Pi. I don't think that the 13B will take a lot of memory.
Oh, yeah, will
It would
take.
take a lot of time. But I was thinking maybe use one of the other ones. So let's do the Llama. See if it works. Llama CLI and then dash M models. See, let's pick the fee one, or maybe we can take this one, EPT2. What was the other parameter? And then the prompt is kind of like build. I don't know what dash E means. So pass this, see what happens. Models, it says it was not able to load it. This one I didn't get as far as of testing, so it looks like it's missing files in that models directory. So I put the right file, I think. It's missing the tensor
Mhm.
weights. Yeah, I think this is something else that I need to do and make to download it. But at least I got Ollama running. Like
Mhm.
if you do Ollama touch or just run it, you can run it with serve, and then you can do a curl. So I can run that Ollama serve. Binary rest is already in use. Oh, so it's already running, I guess, behind the scenes. Let me try again. So something is running.
I just do a call on that. It'll be running for sure.
Let me see. Because nothing else should be running in that port, right?
Spell, spelling mistake.
Yeah, it's already because I ran it. I think I ran it once. Okay, so now I can do a curl. So if I go to and then we'll end with that. You go to Ollama, and then they have a couple of examples here. Let me see. Yeah, like this one, but this one is using geometry, right? I will need to
No, you just change
um
the model name. That's it.
yeah. Give me a second. Right, and then change the model. Oh wait. So this is as easy as it gets, right? To use these models, you specify the model and then the prompt, um, and then maybe you use tiny llama instead. And the thing,
And lab back. Yeah, as earlier.
yeah, now you can see the CPU is 100%, right? And is the reason it's coming like this is because it's streaming, right? It's streaming the tokens. So this is the way like you can do JSON chunking, right? So it gives you the part of it, and then it comes back and it finished. So this is like in programming terms, you'll be able to do this in Python or JavaScript
Yep.
or whatever, parse it.
So we can
I
do
think you can pass
streaming.
a parameter, say do not stream, and then
Yeah,
give you
yeah,
back
stream is equal
the.
to false. You can say stream is equal to false. It will not do.
Yeah,
In
I
the
don't
same
know.
thing. You can just pass
Uh,
another parameter there. Stream is equal to false. It will not do. Or yeah, that's it. So the same curl request you mentioned there, right? You can just mention it there. Yeah.
Let me see if it's stream.
Yeah.
Oh, stream, right?
Stream, yes,
False.
stream. Yep.
Let's try that, and then and then put kind
comma,
of
you
like,
put comma here, yeah, and then say next line, yeah. And you can just,
can,
it's okay. You can do it. Doesn't matter. It's fine.
yeah, I can do it later.
Yeah.
Anyway, I think we ran out of time. So folks, drop any questions. Victor, say you're safe. You can unmute yourself and ask,
No question at this point.
or comments. You thinking of trying this? I think Victor's trying to speak.
I don't know if you can hear me. Anyway.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Good. I mean, this I need to check it a little bit further because it's not like the thing which I know very well. So I need to
Yep.
check the basics.
Yeah, and then yeah, this it comes as a Docker container, so then you can put it into. Maybe we'll try that next week. We'll check with Sergio what we want to cover next week. But yeah, thank you for attending today. This was kind of like a basic overview on how to get these small models, right, and then compare how they run on Raspberry Pi. So we try both Llama CPP, but Llama it looks like it's the easiest one to try first, and then you can
Yeah.
try the other ones. Any
Yeah.
parting thoughts, Nipindra?
I think we are good. So Hugging Face might be much more simpler, I believe. We can try out a few different examples of that, but depending on how the time permits, we can finish the book and then after that, we can maybe come back to it. So with Hugging Face, I think we can pick up much more smaller models and then try to execute them. But I think this is good that at least I could see that, okay, we can deploy on Raspberry Pi, and I believe there are going to be more in-device LLMs are getting embedded day by day. So
Yeah.
this field is going to be more hot as we continue on this. Yeah.
Yeah, Hugging Face, right? You can like download. You can use the Hugging Face as a registry, right? To download the models, the files, right, and then
So there are
run it.
multiple things are there. Yeah, yeah. So of course, it's like community thing, like a GitHub. You can upload your model, somebody can use it.
Yeah.
They also give some execution as well. You can. There are already some models from other people running. You can go and kind of access those models and then try them out. And then also you can also serve your own applications on top of the Hugging Face endpoint. So for example, if you build a model, you want to get some public endpoint where they can be served for the larger audience, you can do that as well. The multiple
Yep.
things are there. Yeah, I'm also exploring that in a bit more detail. So you can see on the left hand side there are just so many models are there of different types. You go to the previous page. On the left hand side, you can see there's so many things are there, right? I can't read particularly, you can see image to text, text to image, image to voice,
Yep.
or text to voice.
Computer
You can,
vision, natural
yes,
language, audio. So it becomes a registry, right? A lot of
yeah.
people
So
are
you can
sharing
pick
their
up,
models.
you can correct. You can pick up one of
Even
it,
the
and then
last ones, I think Falcon one was of the last one that got
yeah, even
added.
Llama to Llama 3 is all there as well. Yeah. Okay, great.
Uh,
I think that's good for today. Yeah.
okay. Yep.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining. We'll see you next
Yeah.
week, folks.
Yeah.
Have a good
Thank you,
weekend.
everyone. Bye bye.